Well, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to give you a little introduction about what are clauses and what are phrases. Well, what are clauses? Clauses are a group of words that function as one part of the speech and that include always a subject plus a verb. We can find different types of clauses. Well, we have two types of clauses. We have independent clauses and dependent clauses. The independents consist in having a subject and a verb, and they are always completing a thought. They state a thought. Remember that. And the dependent clauses also contain a verb and a subject, but they never not completing a thought. Well, we also have three types of clauses, which are adjective clauses, noun clauses, and adverb clauses. This we can distinguish them by the types. Fuck. We can distinguish these three types of clauses by what are they saying? They are defined, but what they state. Well, I'm gonna give you an example of an adjective clause. Well, I'm gonna give you a sentence now. My autistic friend is good with puzzles. We can see that this clause is defined by autistic, which is an adjective. So we know that it is an adjective clause. Then we have noun clauses. I'm going to give you a little example of a sentence that is a noun clause. I can't remember a thing. In this sentence, we have thing as a noun. Therefore, we can identify that this is a noun clause. And to end this part, we also have adverb clauses. Well, I'm going to give you another example of an adverb clause. He finished quickly. In the sentence, he finished quickly, we have quickly as an adverb, and you can notice that quickly is stating the whole sentence, that he finished quickly. That's how we can identify that this is an adverb clause. So remember, guys, for a clause, we need always a subject and a verb. We have adjective, noun, and adverb clauses. And these are defined by what they are stating, okay? We have to identify either it's an adjective, either it's a noun, or an adverb. And we also have independent and dependent clauses. The independent ones are completing a thought, and the dependent ones don't complete a thought. Well, now I'm gonna talk to you about phrases. What are phrases? Phrases are units of language that we use all the time. An easy way to identify phrases is that these difference by the clauses, they don't contain either the subject or a verb. And that phrases are a single part of the speech. Imagine that phrases are a choir. You know what a choir is? When a lot of boys sing, and that's a choir. Just imagine that each phrase is one person. So you have a choir incomplete. What do we have as a choir? That's a speech. So what does this mean? Well, this means that while a phrase is made up of multiple words, all of which have their own function, that is what we need to keep in mind, that all the words work together to perform a larger function. Well, in phrases, we have many different kinds of phrases, and I'm going to explore with you what are those. Well, now we have prepositional phrases. What are prepositional phrases? Well, they are made of a preposition and a noun or a pronoun, and they function as adjectives or adverbs. And there are some examples here. The cake with nuts fell on the floor. We have a diagram here, diagram sentence. Well, right here we have a prepositional phrase, and with nuts as a prepositional that is acting as an adjective. You can tell that is an adjective because the word with The word with is branching of the noun cake. You can see it right here. Next, we have a verb phrase. Verb phrases are made of a main verb and at least one helping verb functioning all together as a single verb. We can have the example here as a sentence: she must have jumped across the stream. Must and have are helping verbs, and jumped is a main verb, and that is a verb phrase. Well, here we have another type of phrase. This is an appositive phrase. An appositive phrase is a noun that renames another noun or a pronoun, and an appositive phrase consists of the appositive and of its modifiers. In the example here we have sister is the appositive remaining, Esther and my sister with dark hair is the appositive phrase. We can identify it in the example. So I'm going to show you next three other type of phrases, and the following three other type of phrases are verbal phrases, which consist of gerunds, participles, and infinitives. And why are they called verbals? Well, that's because they are formed from verbs, but you don't have to be careful because they don't function as verbs. Okay? Well, we have to keep in mind yet that verbals are an advanced grammar topic. So, if you're just starting to learn grammar, you might want to skip this until you're comfortable with the ones I told you before. Well, here we have an example of a gerund phrase. And why is this a gerund phrase? Well, we can identify it by an easy tip that these have nouns or verbs that end in ing. Well, we also have participial phrases. Participial phrases act as an adjectives, and they end in ing, d, t, or n. And here we have the sentence, throwing rocks across the water, my friend smiled. Throwing rocks across the water is a participle phrase modifying the noun friend. You may have also heard of the dangling participles. Dangling participles occur when the participle does not have anything to modify, and you should avoid them. And to end with the phrases, we have infinitive phrases. Infinitives act as nouns, adjectives, and adverbs, and they begin with to plus a verb. Sometimes they have a silent to. By that, I mean that sometimes the word to is implied a little bit tricky. For instance, in the sentence, I swore to tie my shoes tighter in the future. To tie my shoes tighter in the future is an infinitive phrase functioning as a direct object of the verb swore. Well, that's all for my presentation for a bit introduction of what are clauses versus phrases. And I hope you learned a lot. Thanks a lot. See you in the next time.